talk about his new movie, The Way Back. First Take is in Chicago for NBA All-Star Weekend. Catch us live this Thursday and Friday at Offshore Chicago on Navy Pier. Guests include Dwayne Wade, comedian Lil Rel, and more. Plus, we'll have plenty of giveaways. Doors open at 7:30 a.m. local, so come join the party in the Windy City. Two teams with championship hopes square off tonight when Kemba Walker's Celtics visit Houston to take on James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and the small ball Rockets. Stephen A., I'll start with you. Which All-Star has a better shot at making the finals this year?
I think it's James Harden.
Okay.
The miniature Kemba Walker, who's sensational, got a lot of love for him. I think Boston showed us what they're capable of when they're going up against those trees in Milwaukee. I just think it's a little bit too much for them to overcome. And even though Max has made a religious argument about how James Harden needs to do better in the postseason, I think we all know, if James Harden were to make shots in the postseason the way he does in the regular season, what the hell are you going to do about that? This dude, listen, he's averaging 35 this year. He's one of the prolific scorers this game has ever seen. If the shot falls like that in the postseason, they can beat anybody.
Yeah,
we all know that.
I agree with that. I think that Harden has a championship in there somewhere. If he can do that, he hasn't shown that he can yet. Meantime, he's in a conference where Los Angeles is fielding two teams that are like, the Lakers are doing it in the regular season.
Yes.
The Clippers, we all know, they're not even too worried about the regular season. You see what's there. It's just a tougher conference. The Celtics, meantime, Stephen A., when they've been healthy, they basically don't lose. They win almost all the time when they're healthy. And without Kyrie in the locker room, when you add Kemba, and we see the issues in Brooklyn now, Kemba's uplifting the locker room. Hayward's back from injury and now a year removed from a catastrophic injury. Tatum and Brown have now blossomed. This is a really, really good team. Celtics are really, really good. I think Kemba has a better shot. Easier conference.
I think they're a great regular season team. I think in the postseason, when you run into those trees, it's a problem for them. I know they are a perimeter team anyway, but when you're forced to do that come postseason time, I think it's significantly more difficult.
They're both underdogs.
Are we jaded when it comes to James Harden's scoring ability? Are we talking enough about the fact he's averaging like 36 points per game?
We're not talking enough about it because James Harden's exceptional play, it's gotten to a point where it's working against him. Because now it's become ordinary to us. We see it, we expect it, we know how phenomenal he is. Okay, you need to do that in the postseason. That's what it's come down to.
I believe, I'm not sure about this, but it's a theory a hypothesis I have. It could be proven wrong, I don't know. But like Peyton Manning, Greg Maddux, a pitcher in baseball, they never did as well under pressure in the playoffs as they did in the regular season. I think Harden's like that. When you have a cerebral player who's getting by on some junk, on some misdirection. In the regular season, when there's not enough time to prepare, they can pick you apart. But in the playoffs, when they have time to prepare and you're facing other elite athletes, they're cerebral too, and they got the hard heat. I don't think Harden is the athlete that Kawhi is, that LeBron is, and they're just as smart as him. So I think he's at a disadvantage in the playoffs.
Max, is Harden's best chance at an NBA championship behind him?
No, you can't say that because if they keep Daryl Morey, he's capable of working magic.
Here's my problem, and I'm a fan of Daryl Morey, and I think he's done a good job, and I hope that he stays in Houston for years to come. But let's be very, very clear. You don't get to hold just the players accountable sometimes. At some point in time, as an executive, you're knocking on the door, you're knocking on the door, you're knocking on the door. Is what you're doing working? Is D'Antoni the right man for the job? I think Mike D'Antoni is an exceptional coach. My problem is, will his style of coaching deliver you a championship? It'll deliver you 50-plus wins a season. It'll get you a couple of rounds in the playoffs. But can it deliver the chip? Mike D'Antoni.
With a D coordinator?
Mike D'Antoni has been a head coach in the National Basketball Association for many years. He's never been in an NBA Finals. When do you start asking those questions about him and Morey?
All right, we asked a question to the fans on Twitter. They weighed in. We said, would Kawhi have had a better chance at a championship if he just stayed with the Raptors? And you guys said, 59% said yes.
Oh.
Should have stayed in Toronto. But he's going to be all right with the Clippers.
I don't feel that way. He went to L.A. He did the right thing.
Giannis versus Victor Oladipo. Great to see him back on the court. All right, welcome back to First Take. We continue with Knicks rebranding consultant Steve Stout. So you're the rebranding guru here. You know, we were just...
I'm the branding guru. I'm music guru.
You've done many things.
Yeah, many things. Many things.
You've succeeded at the highest levels of a number of different genres of business and industries, and that's why it makes absolute sense to me that the Knicks bring you in for your expertise. And I want to start with where we kind of left off on James Dolan. He gets a lot of criticism, and as you heard in the angst from Max, you know, that whole Oakley incident, it still resonates and hurts a lot of Knicks fans. When you think about Dolan, does he need a rebrand as well?
I don't think. If we have the Madison Square Garden. It's the greatest place to play on earth, right? It's the greatest arena in the world, my point of view. That's why athletes want to go there. They get psyched up to go to Madison Square Garden. And you have this iconic franchise. I think if we get those two things right, not that Garden has no issues. If we get the Knicks right and we get players wanting to come in, I think all of those other things that, as we talked about, whether it be Steinbrenner or Jerry Jones, when you start winning and you start putting that product on the court, those things start to dissipate.
So it has nothing to do with Dolan? So some of the
on.
frustrations have nothing to do with Dolan, in your opinion?
I think fans need somebody to point at.
Let me say this. Let me move this forward. First of all, let's understand something here. You've got three sides when you talk about a basketball franchise. You've got operations operations, your president, your GM. You've got your coaching. And, of course, you've got the business side. And if they're all aligned and they're of one like mind and one voice, you really, really don't have any problems. That's why you don't have problems in Miami. For example, if Pat Riley, one could argue, was still here and had never left via fax to depart from the Knicks to go to Miami, we might not be saying what we've been saying about the New York Knicks for the better part of the last 2 decades.
So you're saying winning cures all?
Well, it's not just about winning, Ben. It's about the voice and it's about things being aligned. Mm-hmm. So really where you come in, Steve, where I think it's important that you really highlight for everybody what you are about is that by Dolan bringing you on board, Max's point is that nobody's going to believe in Dolan. If his name is attached to it, if his imagery is attached to it, nobody's going to believe in him. But if it's you, it might be an entirely different ball game altogether. So when we're sitting up here with Steve Stout, here's the question. It's one thing to be about Brandon, whatever. Yeah. What kind of voice are you going to have? What kind of influence do you expect to have? Because we can't confirm Leon Rose and, you know, we understand that. We understand that. That's not for you to answer. Yeah. But it is for you to answer. Hey, what kind of role are you going to play? What are we going to see from you when it comes to the New York Knicks?
Winning, aggressive attitude, going after the best, representing exactly what a winning attitude and a winning culture needs to have.
That means players, that means coaches.
That means players, that means personnel, coaching, everybody. Yeah. I'm going to help play a role.
Halftime entertainment.
Pre-game
entertainment.
Pre-game, post-game, everybody. The way you look on the way out, the way you feel when you walk in.
So that you know that makes you the man for the Knicks then, right? Ooh. You understand that, right? Yeah. So am I talking to the man for the New York Knicks?
Come on, man. That's
what I'm asking.
Listen, I'm part of a team, and I'm going to be part of a team. Okay. But I got a loud voice.
Got it.
As part of a team.
I agree with you that the nature of basketball, and particularly the NBA, is if you just clear the decks, you have no salary issues, no bad contracts, some young players, you can get a single superstar to change an entire way a team is perceived, right? So I don't think it's a bad idea to target the Greek Freak or someone like that in free agency and say the world is yours. You can take over New York. We've never had a player like that, right? Yeah. On the other hand, the Knicks have tried that strategy before and have struck out so much that what they wind up with is just cleared decks, right? So how do you do that?
When they tried it before.
LeBron and Wade, during the
Carmelo.
Carmelo they traded the whole team for Carmelo.
Well, that's exactly to your point you just said. You said, well, you focus on one guy.
Right, but you have to focus on a guy who's actually an MVP caliber player, not just an all-star.
I mean, everybody thought at that time Carmelo was. You didn't think that, all right? Cool.
He wasn't. I was right. If everyone thought that, they were wrong. But the point, and he's a great player, but there's a difference between LeBron and Carmelo.
This guy's rough.
The point is, I'm just honest
about Dolan.
Steve, I'm not going to say something different because you're here.
I'm just saying.
Don't apologize for being rough.
By the way, I'm talking about Carmelo. I thought that when they made the Carmelo move, it was aligned with exactly everything you just said, focusing on a superstar athlete.
No, they didn't just sign him. They traded the whole team for him. And then when Donnie Walsh was trying to play hardball, Dolan stepped in and was like, no, just give them everything they want. Come on, man. The point is that was Dolan messing that up. But the point still is.
You're good. You believe rumors are facts.
Well, I mean, you tell me if that's not true.
So you believe rumors.
Was the phone call made to CAA? No. Okay. I have my sources, you have yours.
Yeah.
But the point is, I think that your strategy is a good one. Let's clear the decks and try and get primetime superstars to come and take the money in New York.
Right.
Look what you can have.
Yeah.
On the other hand, that has to be on simultaneous tracks with drafting and development.
100%. Yes.
So what kind of influence do you have on that side of it, on the personnel side?
I mean, we're bringing in a president. Obviously, we're looking quickly to get a president in to help reshape what that's going to be, that coaching team and the development team for our athletes. I am working with Dolan and working with the organization to help as we pick that leader, helping support that leader, whatever he needs to help bring the best teams that he can to New York. Like that's my role. I don't want to sit here.
But the reason I'm interrupting is this. You know what? There's somebody else that was in the business world that decided to be a president of basketball operations. Now, obviously, that's not the role you're playing. But I'm thinking about Irvin Magic Johnson and how there were various people that were arguing he had to divest his interest. This is a full-time job. That's not what you're saying here. So considering, I want you to highlight for us the multitude of things that you're going to be into and whether or not that's going to compromise you in any way. And I'm talking about in terms of your time and your energy needed to help revamp the New York Knicks.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'm in the entertainment business. Right? I am in the media entertainment business. I work with advertisers. I work with great artists. That's what I like to do. And I've always found whether you're working with a Jay-Z, a great artist, or you're working with a star like LeBron James, it's very similar in what keeps their attention, keeps them focused, and attracts them to whatever situation you want to bring them to. And they want to be around successful people. They want to be around smart, aggressive, successful people who have very rational ideas to keep moving forward. And that's the kind of spirit that I want to bring to this team. And if I can play a role in getting that done, whether it be the entertainment, like I said, during a game, or a player that we want to go after, or a coach that we want to go after, whatever it may be, I want to be able to play, and I have the liberty to play a role in getting that done.
That does make a difference.
That's a big difference.
I thought Donnie Walsh was an excellent GM. I thought Dolan cut his legs out in the Carmelo deal. But during the decision with LeBron, the Knicks contingent that went in was never going to compete with Pat Riley. Pat Riley, what he was selling was just going to be different. I understand the decision was made, but when you saw the Knicks, so you're saying you have to bring a big-time, feel to the Knicks when you're going after these players?
I think they need to know that we're real and believe, not just know, believe. Yeah, you come to New York and New York sells itself. But am I going to a place where I believe the dedication to winning and being great is a part of the culture there? And I think that's a role because of the success I've had and other things that I've done. That's a fundamental belief. And I'm bringing that fundamental belief to that management team.
I've used Mark Jackson as an example, but I'm not asking you to go there. I just want you to hear what my thoughts are about
I love Mark.
Somebody like that. I'm glad you do. My thing is because of the moribund state of affairs that has existed with the New York Knicks for the last 20 years or so, close to the last 20 years, I think that they need a voice attached to their basketball franchise, meaning somebody that the media sees all the time, that the media communicates with all the time. I think that's incredibly important. You can't just look for a coach. It has to be somebody that can galvanize New York. What do you say to that?
I wouldn't disagree with you. I think having, if you don't have a superstar athlete, one singular superstar athlete that's the face of the team, that can talk on the team's behalf, having a coach like that who has the magnitude and gravitas so that the media would love to talk to him and believe him, I think that's super important for the organization. I think every organization needs that either with a superstar athlete or coach.
Mark
that
Jackson
has that.
definitely has a
you've
track
had-
record of developing young talent and having them believe.
Yes, he
You've had
does.
a number of wins. I absolutely want to see this work for you and for the Knicks to turn it around.
We all
As a
desperately
Knicks
do.
fan, can you give me a timeline to hold on to?
You want to get look.
Just reasonable things to think.
Look, I'm a sports fan. As any sports fan knows, like what you really want to see is signs of optimism, improvement, week in and week out, improvement. Players getting developed, being better. And as a fan of a team, that's what keeps you growing. Like I can tell you, starting now, we're going to get better. You're going to start seeing improvement, week after week. And just the aggressive nature of the team itself, management, who we're going after, what we're bringing in. We know we needed change. Or they know they needed change. And I believe that there's a very clear path and plan to help bring that optimism and hope to winning and give New York City the team that they deserve.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Steve.
Thank you.
Good luck, bro.
Even though Max gave up,
Good
I'm
luck.
sure in his heart
Max.
of hearts, he's hoping the Knicks come back around.
Max, listen, Max, we talking about your music career? No, we talking, listen.
Evaluate Max's music career. Give him that since he's becoming a shoe huddle.
So I just looked it up. Max was a rapper signed to Columbia Records, and I was there. Back then, Nas was on the label, the
Shout out to
Fugees,
Cypress
Criss Cross,
Hill.
Cypress Hill, Rough House Records,
Rough House.
Criss Cross. So Max knows all about this whole connection between, obviously, music and sports. The other thing is like bringing entertainment. This entertainment, helping these independent artists. Like that's another thing that I'm excited about. You're having the Garden, having the Knicks, having this deal with Apple Music, and helping get independent, giving a voice to the voiceless. I think that's dope.
Maybe Max can perform at halftime one day.
That can absolutely have an effect on the culture. It can be part of a solution.
One part
even
of
though
it.
people make fun of it, like, oh, what's that really going to do? I look at the Ducks all the time, Oregon. They changed their uniform. Something as simple as just hot uniforms. All of a sudden, recruits wanted to go play there. That stuff makes a difference.
When Kevin Durant first went to Golden State, before he got on the court, the first thing I had done was I threw an event for him at a very good friend of mine, Ben Horowitz's home. He's the leading venture capital. Every athlete came, and all they wanted to do was speak to Ben Horowitz about what tech investment can I be. So whether it's music and entertainment or technology, yes, you can do things to help shift
We
the
gotta
culture.
go. We gotta go. It was a great interview. I appreciate your time. But the bad part about ending it the way that you did is that what you just said has us thinking, why the hell weren't you here before last summer when Kevin Durant, before he went to Brooklyn? Now I gotta go.
Steve, just bring the
You messed up my homo.
Everyone
Messed up my homo. How come you wasn't here last week?
Last reaching the finals this year.
It should have brought you here last
I'm on
Stephen
time.
A, if they get it to the
I'm
Coco,
on
you won't
time.
be singing
You know what I'm
that
saying?
tune.
Don't tell us that about you and Kevin Durant now. Where were you a year